If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option, as Sori says. $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch and diggy, Charles shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Dear, I'm just kidding. In the words of Smeagol, because it's my birthday and I wants it. This is the I wish I could do the voice, but I don't think I can.
Is that what Smeagol said? It's my birthday and I want it?
Well, no, he wants the ring, so and I wants it. Like, whenever he wants something, he's like... That is the reason for the stream tonight, says DJ Ben. It's not a birthday bash. It's not a birthday ball. It's Ben's birthday beatdown again.
Ben's birthday beatdown. That is what they call alliteration, dear listener.
Song number 1 is by a band called Death Angel. The song itself is called Sonic Beatdown. Probably a good start for a song for a night that's called a birthday beatdown.
So the name of the first song is Sonic Beatdown. What's the name of the band?
Sonic Beatdown. Death Angel.
Death Angel. Sonic Beatdown is song numero uno.
The video description still says... Oh, we already got that. Okay.
We already got that taken care of.
Yep. We are on top of it.
Holy shit. That is what Smeagol said just before murdering his good friend Daigle for the ring.
I hated that scene. I actually have never actually fully watched it because to me it looked so realistic.
Wasn't that at the beginning of part 3?
Yeah, I don't know. I just know he chokes
so
him out.
you missed the rest of the movie?
No. I watched the rest of the movie, but I turned away. I never saw that scene fully. It was so disturbing to me. Like, I felt like the acting was really good. Not that I've ever seen somebody getting choked to death, but I assume. And like it was just so dark. Anyway.
That was pretty dark.
It was very dark. Because it was his friend.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it was sad. Anyway, we're not going to talk about sad things. We're going to talk about birthday things and beatdowns. Wait.
And timestamps.
Yeah, I already have a timestamp because this is the first song. So it's 0000. Let's start.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Song numero uno. Death Angel Sonic Beatdown. Let's go, y'all. Happy freaking birthday, Ben. Let's do this shit.
Okay.
Don't ever let them make you feel small. Don't ever let them make you wanna
get heavy in this bitch. Let's go! Let's go, Ben! Got BC here. The gang's all here. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal that. Sounds like a relationship song.
A Sonic Beatdown. Well,
it sounds like a relationship
yeah,
song.
Probably. Okay, first of all, this part, if this is done live, this must be really fun, like to be in like a mosh pit situation,
100%.
Especially this part. Ladies and gentlemen, we need you to clear the area. Ladies and gentlemen, we need you to clear the area. This is an unlawful gathering.
Unlawful gathering? Is that what it says?
Yeah, this is an unlawful gathering. That's so crazy to think that there are like some places where even here in America, they tried to do it to us during COVID. You couldn't be gathering with more than X amount of people.
What do you mean they tried? They did.
It was successful?
Yeah, like you literally, like legit, like you couldn't do it. Like folks were literally getting jammed up, and that's why they did that whole thing in Michigan.
It's just
where they squared up with the governor because she had them on curfew while she was out there on a
she was going all around to the barber. Wait, was she the one that was going to the barber shop?
Yeah, she's going to barber, like her and AOC.
Yeah,
the whole.
She's like, let me book my appointment. All you plebes, stay home.
Yeah, and then them dudes showed up at her place. And I was like, holy shit. And Trump was like, you better let them. He's like, you got to make a deal with them. And so I was like, holy hell. Okay.
Well,
don't fuck with
some
Michigan.
People are more privileged than other people. That's what we see here.
All right. It is Ben Bear's freaking birthday.
Yep.
Ben Bear is one of the most prominent DJs in our community. And it is his birthday. And like true Village fashion, he wants to spend at least a part of that day of birth celebration with you beautiful people of the Village.
And by extension, us.
This is what happens, dear listener. People tell you there's not a lot of good stuff in YouTube, but you can say, listen, there's this one channel, trust me, they're the greatest. They're the greatest. Steve Shouts in this bitch.
Okay.
All right, so I would put this in the Cowboys from Hell category.
Yeah, I would too.
Or this is where the band is bragging about what they're about. You see what I'm saying? Like this is who we are, type of thing.
Yes, ish. The reason I say ish is because like Cowboys from was it Cowboys from Hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. That song to me was like, we alone are great. We are coming to slay your city. But this one, which I loved, I mean, don't get me wrong, that energy is very enjoyable to me. I find it very entertaining. I love that level of ego and like...
mendacity.
Yeah, I like that mendacity. Yeah. Although, I'm not so sure. Maybe if I lived in that town and, I'm just kidding. Okay, Come With Us. The reason I think it's a little bit different is because this one is like, it's involving everybody else to come in. Come with us. We're going to make you feel alive when the lights go down. Feel the burn inside. So you've had a rough year. Let's leave it in the dust. Tonight's going to shine. Tonight you're going to shine. Tonight here with us. Oh, it makes me emotional. I didn't expect that. But yeah, it like
so this one's a little bit more inclusive than Cowboys from Hell. Cowboys from Hell was just listen.
We're coming to slay your city. Just you know, leave
literally.
us your women and move out the way. It's just. But this one is like everybody. You know, have had a rough year.
Everybody's had a rough year. Just come on down, stop on by.
Yeah, and we're gonna like enjoy this all together. And
I agree. That's actually a pretty interesting nuance because a lot of these bands, like there seems to be like, especially with the old school bands, like everybody had a song where it was like, yo, this is who we are. I wish the newer bands would do that.
There's your tea here and there's a water here.
I wish the newer bands would do that. Like Lamb of God, if Lamb of God came out with we're Lamb of God and this is what we do.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I wish every band had one of those.
Yeah,
things.
I think we're just too cool now to do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
I think we're just too cool for school.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we should abandon the old ways. Some of them were kind of...
Yeah, some of those old ways are kind of badass. I just don't know how you could do it in the modern era.
I don't know.
But
you know what?
This is the thing about the metal community that people don't like. If you're outside of the community, you just can't understand it. And it's one of like the best things about the metal community accepting you. Because like you're like the pinnacle of like what's not supposed to be in the metal community, but they accepted you because you were willing to learn, which I thought was really cool.
Yep.
And like that's really like there is metal elitism obviously, like, oh, you listen to these mainstream, you're not a true metalhead. But I mean, for the most part, metalheads will pretty much take you where you're at. Like I said, there are metal elitists, but most metalheads, if they see somebody that looks like a normie, but like understands like a band like Opeth or something like that, they get very excited, like and you get brought in. It's the metal community is a very. It's really a community designed for people on the outside. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you look at the lyrics, like so you've had a rough year. Yeah. Like that's the metal community. Like most people have rough days. People talk about a rough patch.
Right. The whole metal community, year.
Metal community. It's the year. Had a rough year. Had a rough lifetime. Yeah. Come on down. Stop on. Yeah. That's the difference to me. Like, that's another thing that kind of separates. I'm not saying it's better per se, but like the type of communities that gets created, to me, seem a lot more. It's easier to get to the brotherhood stage of fandom in the metal community versus in the rap community. Yeah. Like, it's very, very hard to do that, so...
Yeah, I think, honestly, it's probably the only community that I've ever... I mean, and this is unfortunately, but even including, like churches and church groups and stuff like that, it's probably the only community that I entered into, and then it was, like, literally, like, probably my worst performance years of all was like the last probably 4 years of my life. Like all the other groups that I've been a part of, I think they would have completely rejected me at that point. But I didn't feel like that. I actually felt like, well, these people they're still going to accept me. And I definitely felt the love from the community for sure. Even like the comment section and stuff, like some of the days where I was just really not doing well. And, I don't know. It's just really interesting to see like, a group of people, maybe because everybody else is also like, well, we too have bad days. So it's like, like you said, a bad year or whatever. You know what I mean?
Or like my man BC. BC's had a rough 40 years.
It's a long time.
Holy shit, BC, what's going on, bro?
So maybe try make some different decisions this year. See if it, go somewhere else.
Try to make different decisions. Okay.
Oh man. So yeah, I love this one. I love this one. Hey, what's up? I mean, ride with us because we're gonna take the lead. I don't know about what make hairpin turns means.
That's like when you're driving on the highway.
A hairpin turn, that's what they call it?
Yeah, and you got to do like a real... The only reason I know...
That's such an old-fashioned phrase.
I used the Hardy Boys.
Really?
And there was a hairpin turn literally every book. It was like, I was starting to figure it out. I was like, oh, wait a second. Anymore. That guy who was like mysteriously hanging around the art gallery, the boys finally put together, you know what, I think this nigga stole the artwork. So the guy like, oh no, they figured me out.
That was square shape
and then
on
he goes
my
and
shirt.
he takes like the $7,000, which apparently was a lot of money back in those days. This guy like put his whole life on the line for $7,000. Okay. But he takes the thing and he dumps it in the car, which is like ridiculous. And then off he goes, and there's like, oh no! And then the boys jumped in the car, and then they had to make I was like, let me guess, they had to make a hairpin turn.
Is that like a complete 180 basically?
Yeah, it's when you're like,
actually, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
When I was in Bible college, we got like really good at hairpins because you figured what was going to happen was you were probably going to meet a guy, you were going to be on the mission field, the middle of nowhere, and you were going to have to do what you could with what you had. And so like curling irons and all that stuff probably weren't going to be a thing. So you had like figured up ways to pull up your hair and twist it and then use the hairpins. But like literally the way that you use the hairpins, you slide it in and then it's literally a complete twist and then back the same direction. So I see where they're coming from.
The hairpin turn is also known as the switchback. Yeah. Yeah. So like, yeah, the Hardy Boys, like everywhere they went, oh, championship guaranteed. The guy had to make a hairpin turn. Oh.
Really?
Oh, the guy stole the lumber for the fire. Hey, what's going on here?
Hairpin turn.
They got a car. Yeah, hairpin turn. Nothing but the Hardy Boys, the hairpin turn. But you know,
I actually never read the Hardy Boys.
What do you mean? I'm surprised they haven't turned that into a show yet.
They
make one of them trans or something. Yeah. No, I'm dead ass serious because it's like 3 boys.
Right.
You could cover everything. One of them could be like, "Oh shit, mom cheated on dad. You're half black." So we could have a half black Hardy Boy. Then we could have an LGBT Hardy Boy.
I almost threw my key, babe.
And they could solve all the crime. Wait a second, it was Johnny that voted for Trump. That would be.
That's why you had that perpetual tan.
You get arrested and shit. They throw you in jail.
Oh my word. Okay.
But like. The song is, I think it's just about, like, on our way to devastate, wall of sound, sonic beatdown. And then it's don't let them make you feel small, which I think is a really important, you know, because, and you know, like, I listen to everything, right? So I'm more inclined to listen to long periods of opposition or people that don't think like me.
100%. That is true.
And so it's like there is a level where like the whole woke thing is just like it's like way farther than it needs to be. And what I define woke as is taking a legitimate social issue and then stretching it to credulity. Right? Mm-hmm. So the act of stretching something beyond credulity, that's what I'm calling wokeness. So it's like one example of this would be if you don't call me by my pronouns, blah, 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 blah should happen to you. If you don't address me by my proper pronouns, you should be fired, you should be this, you should be that.
That one that was just playing where they said that they were going to scoop your brains out with a spoon. What was
that one was like on the extreme
Obviously
sides.
extreme, but why? Was that because it was the pronouns issue?
Yeah, it was a pronoun thing, and he wanted to murder you if you didn't get their pronouns right. But I'm just using that as an example. Mm-hmm. But like, or even in the black community, it's like, you know, you get triggered because whatever, somebody talks about Martin Luther King's, you know, sex life or whatever. Now you get triggered and you're having a meltdown. And then the person that made you feel upset for bringing up what Dr. King did, that person is the bad guy and blah, 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 blah. Like that, the message to outsiders or marginalized people that's given right now is, you know, like you're made out of wax, and the way to overcome that is not to create strength in the person or in the marginalized individual, but to get everybody in the surrounding community to coddle this person. And coddling to me is not always negative. Right? Like, you need to coddle babies. Like, you should do that. And if you don't, you're a horrible person. But, like, coddling people in their victimhood, but never empowering them to overcome it. Yeah,
exactly.
Right? And so then you have cancel culture and things like that. And the point of that is, I don't think that they're, like, I do believe that there are bad actors at the governmental level that purposely understand how psychology and how people work, but for the most part, I think at the ground level, your normal over woke person is just a person trying to be nice to everybody. Like, I don't think they're trying to do anything.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, what ends up happening is people start getting socialized around their victimization, and in order to live in that kind of world, everybody around you has to treat you a certain way. I think this methodology is better.
Yeah.
Is to say, don't let them make you feel small.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't need a trigger warning. This is a thing that a lot of like new school, social justice, and I don't mean social justice warrior in a pejorative sense, but if you're 19 and 20 years old, you've never lived in a world without the internet, like specifically without social media internet. So it's not about like, oh, you have to go touch the grass. It's you guys are coming up in a completely different paradigm than we came out with. So, for example, nobody cared about what you posted in an AOL chat back in the day. We didn't care. Nobody would get fired for anything that you put in the AOL chat. Now, you got to scrub your shit from a decade ago and blah, 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 because we're trying to protect people's feelings. But what it ends up doing is it creates a society of people who now resent this minority of people, because now our entire lives have to be upended. Our language has to be upended to make sure you feel okay. And what that does is it boomerangs and it generates a lot of resentment and hostility.
Yep. And then I think go ahead.
But whereas back in the day, like being the only black kid in Maine, for example, in the late 80s, like you could do the math. I always tell the story. I came home, first day in an American school. I was a Jamaican immigrant. I said, "Mom, what's a nigger?" She said, "Oh, don't worry about that. That's what the white kids say when they're afraid of you." She said, "Somebody call you?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "All right, next time you see him, just hit him in the mouth." I was like, "Oh, for real?" She's like, "Yeah, just hit him in the mouth, and then he'll know that not to cross the line or whatever." And like, to this day, that term doesn't affect me. I don't care about it. It's not. I mean, I went to school and the Bible says to honor your father and mother, so I gave the kid an eye jammy, but that's just because the Bible said so. But like, it's never, that word is never, my mother refused to let that word have that kind of power over her. Right. She just would not.
Right.
They're just saying that because they're afraid of you, whatever it was. So every time that term was used, I was like,
yeah.
You don't want to go there. Look at him, he's so scared. Yep. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like, that methodology of dealing with trolls or racists or cishet white male, whatever, like whatever the boogeyman is, like that was way more empowering, and it just completely took all the venom out of the bite. Because like if you're calling somebody some name that they're supposed to react to and they're like, you're scared, come over here. You see what I'm saying? Like it's like, what's the point of saying it? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So like back in the day, that's what our parents used to tell us. They would not go to the school and have a fucking parent-teacher conference that now the entire school has to, adapt to me. We've got a black kid in the school, so now we're going to... And this is what's happening with trans kids. That's like, they'll call a PTA and all this, and they'll have to talk about how to deal with this one kid. Now the kid's going to school...
You've essentially ostracized that one kid because
Correct.
It's like you said, the resentment is going to grow from the other students, and nobody wants to live under the thumb of somebody. And if you put that on all the other students, then to the kid's face, they might do it, but it's also going to make them not want to be around that kid because they're like, it's just too much work to have to jump through all the hoops that you want me. I can't live naturally and normally when you're around. Another interesting story that goes along with what you were saying. Vinny and I used to go outside of, I understand this is controversial for some people, which is odd to me, but we were outside of an abortion clinic and we would talk to the women on their way in, offer them help, tell them, we would help them, whatever they needed, diapers, whatever, anything that could help them, whatever was preventing them from giving that child life, like we wanted to help be the reason where they could let that kid live. And it wasn't just like over there condemning people, it was like just generally wanting to help. Anyway, this woman comes by, and she was of a similar complexion as Vinny, and I started talking with her about it, and I brought up that the numbers, which I don't remember now, the numbers of how, originally how abortion started and how it was predominantly used in the black community, and how many black babies over and against the majority of white babies, that, what the numbers were. and she couldn't even hear the numbers or what I was saying. She jumped on the word black because I said black. And then she was like, what? She's like, you racist, blah, blah, blah. I was like, are you serious? Like, Sanger, the one that started this. And then,
that's what I'm saying.
She's the one.
Like, that.
But she was completely sidetracked. She couldn't even focus on what the actual major racist issue was in that conversation. And I also saw people coming by and they wanted to silence Vinny's voice. And so they would use that word. And I would get very angry when I would hear the word. You would always chuckle and look at them like you could tell like that it didn't, they wanted it to like trigger you so you would stop talking and get focused on the word, but it held no power over you.
I said they're killing babies upstairs. I don't care if you call me a nigger. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And like these people support killing children. What do you think they're gonna? You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, like. This methodology, I just think is so much better. It's not like a walk it off. It's not like this is not a big deal. He's saying, don't let them make you feel
And it is
small.
a decision within yourself. Like, you can that's the one thing that I've been kind of noticing about, like, my own, like, transition toward, like, more toward positivity and stuff, is there are certain things that I'll hear or certain moods that kind of like come to me, and then there's like a moment where you make the decision if you're gonna like lean into it and then like keep thinking about it and let those words or those feelings just marinate and go over it, and then it almost becomes like a trigger point, like where now it's almost like you can't pull yourself out of it. So now, like, when I start recognizing like I'm slipping down that slope in toward like pulling me down toward deeper depression, I'm like, I don't want to go there. So whatever I feel like is kind of turned me in that direction, like I'm not going there. Like, I'm going to look at the situation, I'm going to say X, Y, and Z thing hurt me. But it's not the end of the world. For me, my Christianity is what helps pull me out, because if I start feeling small, I remind myself right at the beginning of the Bible, Jesus, God tells us that we're made in the image and likeness of God. So we reflect his image. Like, if you, back in the day, like, you couldn't go spit on some idol because it represented a god. If you did that, you would lose your friggin' life. So it's like we are what with the golden image that represented that false god or that like being whatever it is. You couldn't disrespect that thing without the people coming against it. Well, God says that we're that image. So we're going about in life and we're representing the highest God. Like, there's nothing better than that. And that's not just for people who believe it or people that claim it. That's for everybody. So I hold on to that, and I'm like, I'm not letting myself slip down with my face in the dirt anymore. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, so yeah, holding on to something positive, shutting off the music that's like adding to my negative mood, and putting on something that's actually going to bring me more toward a positive direction. Like, use the things around you, your environment, to pull you toward a better life. So
that's it just seemed like
I liked it. Right here, sorry.
Go ahead.
From the deepest trench to the highest mountain peak, united, we'll never know defeat. And I like that because, again, I think it's very, very difficult to pull yourself out of a very deep place without community, without help. Some of the people in my life right now, they've been there at the moments that I really needed them. And it might be something as small as a Bible verse or some prayer or a song. And it probably didn't really require too much of them to help, but shout out to the church.
Yeah, so I like the song. I'm going to give this one a solid 9.2. Sonic Beatdown in this bitch.
9.6 for me.
Sonic Beatdown in this bitch. DJ Ben, you see this right there.
Happy
DJ
birthday.
Ben was born on this day.
Well,
celebrate, Village.
Tomorrow, I believe.
Or tomorrow.
Yep. Dream Theater, Stream of Consciousness is up next. So come right back or stay where you are or whatever.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Oh.